I'm the Apostle John. I was one of the apostles of Jesus Christ. Do you know who Jesus is? If you said the Son of God, you're right. I understand that more clearly now. I believed that then, but I didn't truly understand what that meant till after this one crazy week. It all started on a Sunday. We were on our way to the city of Jerusalem, Jesus and the apostles and myself, and Jesus had told us to go find the colt of a donkey and bring it to him to ride on. We brought it to him and we put cloaks on it for him to ride, and we went ahead of him singing and shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the King of Israel." And when the people in Jerusalem saw us coming, they laid their cloaks in the street and waved palm branches and shouted with us. It was an amazing sight. But then a couple days later, a woman named Mary came while we were eating a meal and poured a whole bottle of perfume over Jesus' head and feet and wiped them with her hair. We were all shocked and a little irritated because that was a lot of perfume. And it cost a year's wages. Judas, he was really angry. He said that the perfume could have been sold and the money given to the poor. But really, come to find out, he wanted some of the money. He had been stealing out of our money bag. Jesus said to leave her alone, and that what she was doing was preparing him for his burial. And that puzzled us. Then, without us knowing it, Judas went to the chief priests who hated Jesus and asked them what they would give him if he could lead them to Jesus when there weren't any crowds around. They agreed to give him 30 pieces of silver, just like what's in this bag. Then on Thursday, Jesus had us go make preparations to eat the Passover meal, where we would eat a sacrificial lamb, unleavened bread, bitter herbs, and drink grape juice. Jesus again puzzled us while we were having that meal. He stood up and took the bread and the juice, and he passed them around, saying, "Take and eat, for these represent my body and my blood." And he said, "Take some of this bread. It represents my body, which will be broken for you. Drink some of this juice, which represents my blood, which will be shed for many." And he said, "Do this in remembrance of me." And Jesus said that the one who dipped his hand in the bowl with him would betray him. We were perplexed and couldn't believe what any of us would do, that any of us would do that. But Jesus said that it would be Judas and told him to go do what he needed to do. We thought maybe Judas was leaving to go buy something more for us to eat since Judas had all the money. Then we went out to the Mount of Olives, where Jesus liked to pray, to the Garden of Gethsemane, where there was a grove of olive trees, just like you see these ones behind me. These very trees right here might have been some of the trees that Jesus prayed nearby. Jesus took Peter and James and myself a little farther in and asked us to keep watch and to pray that we didn't fall into temptation. We tried. We really tried. But we were tired and it was late. After praying for an hour, Jesus found us asleep. But we fell asleep again. And he came back, I think, a second time. But I was too tired. I couldn't even open my eyes. Then after Jesus had prayed 3 times, it happened. Judas showed up with an angry mob and soldiers. And when he greeted Jesus with a kiss, they arrested him and took him away to the high priest. Peter asked the Lord if we should fight and cut off one of the men's ears with a sword. But Jesus told him to stop. And Jesus reached down and grabbed the man's ear and put it back on his head and healed him. Then he said, "This has all taken place that the writings of the prophets might be fulfilled." And then we all ran in fear and deserted him when they hauled him off to the high priest's house. Just like Jesus said we would. I was so ashamed. Jesus had been betrayed by one of his closest friends and followers for 30 pieces of silver. What does it mean to be betrayed, you ask? Well, it means several things. It means to lead someone astray, kind of like lying to get them to do what you want so that you can get something that you want. Kind of like maybe if you have a little brother or sister and you ask them to climb up on the counter and get the remotes to the DVD player so you guys can watch a movie. And while they're up there getting the remote, your mom or dad comes in, and guess who gets in trouble? Your little brother or sister, because you betrayed them into doing something they weren't supposed to. We shouldn't do that. Or it also means to give away secret information, like telling a secret that somebody's told you to keep. You know, sometimes part of being a good friend is when somebody tells us something private and they say, don't tell anybody. We keep that a secret. And we shouldn't tell anybody, otherwise we're betraying our friend. But if they're telling you something that they're in danger, you need to tell a grown-up. Don't keep that a secret. To be betrayed also means to deliver an enemy, to deliver someone to an enemy, and that's what Judas did to Jesus. So kids, I hope that you have learned today a little bit about the life of Christ, about the week coming up to his crucifixion. And I want you to remember that you need to try to learn to be a good friend. Don't try to talk people into doing something that you know can get them into trouble. Don't lie to your parents when you've done something wrong and blame it on somebody else when they were innocent. Don't tell secrets when you're not supposed to. And don't run away when people don't run away from Jesus, but always put your faith and trust in him. Now, there's more to come next week, so I hope to see you again. But before we go, I want to share your memory verse with you this week. And this week, the memory verse is John 12:13. And it says, Hosanna! Blessings come down from God. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the King, put our crown on, of Israel. John 12:13. Let's do that one more time. Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the King of Israel. John 12:13. And don't forget last week's memory verses. You can still be working on those. I've had a couple of videos sent to me. Matthew 4:4 and Matthew 4:10. If you need to watch the video, go to last week's video and learn the motions. See you later.